line 5.
Back
Line
to
5,
you.
that's back to me. I got 8 of them. I got 8 fifth lines. The heretic, the hero, the saint, savior, helper, and the protagonist.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah.
The top of the hexagram, in a sense.
Oh yeah, because the next one's going to go into the transitional point.
Yeah.
So responsibility. Fifth line bears the responsibility of universalizing the messages of the hexagram, often stepping in as strangers of consequence. Absolutely.
Mm.
Like
Yep.
stranger of consequence is definitely like a huge part of my life. Their aura invites those in crisis to project onto them, but they must discern which situations align with their ability to provide the solutions. Yeah,
This
because
is so cool. Oh, go ahead. You're going to say.
oh no, tell me what's cool.
What is so cool is the fact that when a fifth line really realizes what the scoop is and they get through the fatigue part of having been a fifth line unaware, they can realize quickly, I get to choose my opportunities because they're already projecting upon me. It's as if the want ads for your favorite job is already being sent. It's being sent to you with the Acme mail delivery guy, you know,
Yeah.
like, so you get to choose. You'll start to choose these things and you'll start to see, oh, that was reliable. I reliably could choose that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's the ability to provide a practical solution. Because like
Yep.
people can get lost in us. It gets really weird. Like it totally makes sense to me that the fifth line is like hiding upstairs, like lights are off, the curtains are closed, and they're just like peering out and like, oh wow, that's totally my house at night. You know,
Right.
because
Right.
it's just people can and can really project those like hopes and dreams upon us,
Mm,
and it can get weird. It can get super uncomfortable. So it really
why?
depends.
What happens when you don't come
Oh,
through?
yeah, that's when we become, the heretic, get the steak sauce, get the A1
Yep.
because they're gonna burn us.
And you're
Ooh.
right. And the first, and in our day and age, and actually even back then, the first thing to go is reputation. Someone
Yep,
gossips, they talk about you, and
yep.
it becomes you guys basically attract that whole saying that is, what's the saying where it's like, something that's easy and true that you got right is said with a whisper, and the stuff
Yeah.
that you got wrong is delivered with a roar.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. With the 5th line, like, the reputation is everything, which can be kind of heartbreaking if, like, you don't know that in, like, the rougher places you can be in, like, "Oh my god, I was insufferable," you can have that, like, looking back on it, but,
Yes.
you grow through that, especially because people can project so highly. Like, I can see
Mhm.
it with people when, like, their eyes glaze over with me, and, like, I call it sirening out because it just feels like they're like lost in some siren song that like I'm not singing it. I'm not aware that I'm singing this,
Right. Right.
but I could see that they kind of glaze over and like they stop seeing me as actual me and just what I can become for them or offer
Well, I
them.
would point out over and over
Yeah.
again that it was his experience, and some of that would be his manifestor aura,
Hmm.
but that essentially it was rare and sometimes almost never was he really seen. The person
Oh
had to
yeah.
become a really good friend over time to finally see him and get
Oh
out
yeah.
of the business of wanting something, not realizing that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's just that projection field that is like completely all around us, just like a bubble at all times, where it's just like there's a certain like mourning that I think has to happen for the fifth line because it's just like the people can like praise on you and project on you that like you're an angel. The amount of times I've been called an angel or a goddess, where I'm like, please don't ever call me an angel or a goddess. Like I like it's like a huge red flag for me because
I
it's
ain't
just like,
living up to that tomorrow,
oh,
honey. I'm not
oh,
doing it.
oh my god.
Right?
Like for anybody, because it's just like what happens when I fall off that pedestal? And that's like the fifth line thing is like at first it can feel really nice. Where everyone's like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And they're fawning over you. And you're like, oh wow, thank you. And then realizing, oh, this is this weird projection field thing. And it can get a little weird. And so it really depends on being able to offer a practical solution and then get out of town, get out of Dodge, like offer the practical solution, be the hero, and then like get out of there before the
Bounce.
projection flips.
Yep, and then bounce before the projection flips, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what teaches you that it needs to be practical.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And really starting to learn that and practice that in life of like, oh, okay, like I can't satisfy that projection. That one's not for me. But that one I got something for that.
Can I apply practical to the other 4 lines real quick? Practical to the first line, that it's looking into stuff. Practical to the second line, it doesn't know. Practical to the third line, yeah, this today, that tomorrow. Practical to the fourth line, well, that's going to change as soon as the opportunity changes. Practical to you, a way of life and a survival tool, right?
Yeah,
Is
it
that,
truly is. It truly, truly is. Because it's
yep.
like if my stuff is too pie in the sky, or if people can't have something tangible, then like
Mhm.
it gets real funny. It gets real, real funny.
If I don't
So,
deliver something practical, I'm forgiven almost on the spot.
oh yeah, you're so nice.
Ish.
You're so
Ev
sweet. Like for us, we will with that projection field, it's like we reflect what other people need to heal. So it's just like, when somebody is like yelling at a fifth line or thinking that they're jealous or mean or whatever the
Right.
accusation might be, it's usually a reflection back at the person who's like first throwing the
Almost
accusation.
always, yes, and you end up bringing that reflection. Let's not forget the clarion, which is a fifth line. One of the crosses. Ra
Yeah.
was a clarion here to trumpet the news, to universalize out the human design system. So that would be an archetype of an example of what is a fifth line all about. The general that Storm and Norman who comes in to save the day. Do we get done with this slide?
No, we finished it. We finished the last one. This is the new one. So,
Oh,
characteristics. The heretic creates solutions to help others and shares universalized messages, but their energy can attract judgment all the time. And like the most like
yeah.
seemingly innocent things like can just like really rub somebody the wrong way. We're like, all right, that's my heresy, whatever. Like you get to a certain like blase point of
The
it. It's like,
judgment is it's even it's that plus it's jealousy.
mhm,
There's an innate jealousy against the fifth line of some sorts of competitive type of jealousy because, first of all, their creative way, the first line theme is attractiveness. It's a just straight up attractiveness,
mhm.
and everything they do and place together and all the things, there's always an attractive quality element to the thing. Fifth lines are always put together and stuff like usually,
Yeah, there's that
um,
seductive quality of the fifth line for
and
sure.
seduction, that was the next thing, and so that immediately is a threat. It's a threat. There's a threat back to my biological programming, which
Mhm,
isn't them, you know what I mean?
mhm,
Or it's just or it's a threat or it's a competition or it's whatever. It's all
mhm,
that thing because it's the femme fatale and the Casanova is the
mhm.
fifth line in its role and it's the conditioner and the conditioned. It's always conditioning everything. These are its roles, side of our profile.
Mhm, mhm.
Yep.
Good stuff. So
Yep.
they feel a strong urge to save others, but must maintain clarity about their own capabilities and only help when aligned with their strategy and authority. Absolutely. Everything always goes back to strategy and authority. Like
Mhm.
it's just gonna keep like punching you in the face in a way, maybe
Yeah,
more on the
with it.
third line,
There's
but like you're
there's only
gonna
one
keep
thing.
seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that got a little weird. Why
Money,
did that get weird? Oh, I
it
initiated.
it's all there is. It's just strategy and authority. We could actually just wind up the broadcast and say, "Here's strategy and authority. Ready? Go. Talk to you in
Yeah.
a year."
Yeah, 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 exactly. So operates within a projection field with which attracts judgment and expectations. Yeah, it's always something. It's always either they're like projecting onto us, they're like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're going to save the day. You're an angel. It's something really like lofty in that regard of how somebody can save them. And if we offer the practical solution, then we are the hero, right? We are the one who came in and did the thing. But if we don't satisfy that projection, which is just like not us, we didn't like agree to the projection anyway, and people can come up with some crazy stuff. That's when we can get that like judgment and expectations, and that's when we hide off and recluse.
Absolutely, and it is the recluse, not the hermit. It's different. There's
Yeah,
2
it's a
different
different
things.
thing.
The hermit doesn't know they're a hermit. The recluse is like, "I'm over here. Leave me,
Leave me alone. I got my curtains
no
drawn, my lights are
trespassing," or
off. I'm doing
"No
my own thing.
trespassing, you." Right? That type of thing. So it's just different. Let's that last item that was read on the last slide. You don't need to go back to the slide, but it was just talking about the aura that basically attracts the judgment.
Hmm.
And the thing is, it's being poured out of your aura. It doesn't matter the type, whatever the type is, your aura is pouring out that fifth line information. It
Hmm.
becomes a genetic mechanic turning on inside the other. And because they don't know what it is, that's what ends up happening. That judgmentation is very judgmental because it doesn't know what else to do.
Yeah,
The not self, you
yeah.
know.
So,
Yep.
challenges avoiding the trap of others' projections and maintaining reputation through successful solutions. Yeah, it's like you can't get lost in it. And it's that thing of just like, and tell people it's like, don't put me on a pedestal, or just say thank you and like get out of dodge before it flips, but not to take it personally in either direction, because initially when people get really like lofty about you and like, oh my God, you're so amazing, it can feel really good, but it's like, don't get lost thinking that that's real. Like us as the savior and the angel and the goddess and like all these like, oh my God, words that people will have for us. It's like, don't get lost in that anymore, that you're going to get lost when somebody turns on you and, blames you for being a heretic and this and that and whatever. Like it's a projection field. It's like a funhouse mirror maze. That's how I kind of think of it, where it's like
Yeah.
there's a mirror, but it's like a distortion thing, so understanding that like other people are not seeing a true reflection of you, and like there is that like real hurt about it, and like have a hug with your human design friends, but not to take it too personally. And yeah, being able to focus on offering like the like practical solutions, right? If someone's projecting onto you that you can do this and you can actually do it, then like great, you can save the day and then like get out of dodge. But like if you can't, don't take that on. And like I try to be very forward of like what I'm capable of and what I'm not.
Enjoy the things you can practically do, and especially enjoy this last line because you guys help move things. You're the universalizer of what the bottom line foundation was way back in the first line,
Yeah.
ultimately, and the meaning of the hexagram in the first place, facing punishment for challenging established norms. Fifth lines ultimately will make a challenge to the established norms. That's their heresy. They
Yeah.
bring a universal, human design is a terrible heresy to, I don't know what, it's a heresy to the psychological community. It's probably a heresy in certain whatever circles of this faith or this thing or that, whatever. Who knows? Bringing the heresy. The
Hmm.
heresy is always something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and facing that becomes a joy for a fifth line when it's the right heresy for them.
Oh,
I
yeah, and
mean,
when you're just like, "I'm just gonna stand in this," and being able to,
I'm
like, take that,
standing.
like,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna get upset about something that I say, especially if it's a 3rd line, because 'cause I'm just gonna fall off and, like, mess something up,
Right.
you know?
And you're gonna
So
sustain at that standing, and that's
yeah,
a good thing for you. Yeah.
yeah, I'll weeble wobble and just being like, "Okay, that's my heresy, you don't like it, that's fine. God bless,"
So
good shit.
just make sure it's practical. All you
Yeah.
fifth lines out there, that's your lesson for the day, basically. Look at that and does it feel practical to you, you know?